Hello and welcome to Making Games with Scott the Machine. Today we'll be going through and creating some more assets that we can add into the game itself. I have kind of a list of things that I need to be doing at this moment. I'm going to be modeling out tent upgrades for the trader tent, modeling and adding to the silo and granary. It needs to look a little bit more medieval. I have to touch up some of the sheep, horse, and rabbit models. I am making a baby version of each so that as you're farming, you'll be able to have animals that grow into the stages of those animal types. I also need to get some pillars for end caps on fences. I kind of have a prefab already, but I want to make that a little bit more solid. And then I need to make a pelt roll. So when you just kill an animal, you'll be able to pick up a pelt as well. Just finishing posting the shared video to all of the services for social media. And let's get to it. Okay, let me switch this over real quick to Maya. Okay. I'm just going to start dragging some of my assets from the game. First one we're going to do today is probably the tent upgrades. I'm just going to use the base tent in here to model out some extensions, maybe add some bigger tent areas, and kind of go from there. So I'm looking through my Unity scene right now and am going to get some those models into Maya. Let's see here. So, well, I should probably add something on the docket for the market. I do like what's going on there, but I do need some upgrades for that as well. So let me just add that to my list real quick. I need to make 2 upgrade types for each building. So probably going to be going into these later on as well to add some different elements to each one. But right now, what I mentioned earlier is what we're going to be moving forward with. Let's see. Just bring this into the scene real quick and find that model. So I put a little shed on it earlier for the initial. And then I'm just going to grab this tent. It's Maya's, or Unity's done, being fun. Oh, okay. Well, Unity decided it wanted to crash. So we're going to have to reopen that scene up and go from there. Okay. Let me just reopen up Unity. So, yeah, it looks like Unity crashed and just have to open that up. That's going to take just a second, but I should be able to go into the project files. Let me just turn on Maya for you guys so you can have something to look at while I'm going through there and getting the assets I need. I am running 2019.3 right now, and it has been a little bit buggy, so just need to definitely get some of that worked out. Hopefully once the official release for that rolls out, I'll be able to kind of get past some of these issues that Unity seems to be having. Okay, let us see here. Yeah, since this is such a large project, Unity takes quite a bit of time to open up, so it's going to be just a minute before that actually is able to be seen. But let's see. Okay, found the tent model that I need to start adding to. Just drag that into the scene and that's loading up. Okay. Yeah, so this thing's quite large. So I think what I'm going going to need to do is kind of make some extensions to this. I'll just duplicate this and see what kind of stuff I can kind of pop up with it. Because, you know, a tent is going to definitely have, you know, this pole mass between each one. So I might extend this out, maybe build out around so it looks like a much bigger tent. I might also turn this into a building. Let's see, just see what we can kind of get from this. There's a nice little matte floor in here too. That's interesting texture. But we'll just play around with the model and see where we get. Just get rid of some of these faces. Just don't need them. Just going to do my multi-view again real quick. Just get rid of this bottom section. We can always take the model again and duplicate it and kind of reuse some of the assets that we already have. You know, no sense in modeling geometry that's already there that we're going to be using. Really like this base that we have for this kind of tent section, which will be kind of the foundation for how this extends out. So we'll just reverse the selection. Inverse and delete the rest because we don't need it. Then just keep that on the side right there as we need to extend this stuff out. Let's see. You can see something kind of like that as an extension of the tent. We're just going to play around with the asset a little bit and see what starts looking nice. Because I could definitely see, you know, just duplicating this again and bringing that into here a little bit. And we got kind of like, you know, a 3 tent setup, but you know, it starts feeling a little bit like one singular tent. You know, I'm gonna have to merge these vertex and whatnot, but seeing if there's anything that we kind of like here. Also, too, maybe kind of like what's happening here. So I'm just going to work with this and kind of merge all these together. Just work with each face side. Kind of move this out so we can start merging some of the faces together as we need them. Okay, that looks good. Do the same with this. That, and we'll just start combining these two right now. Just bring these vertex into each other. So we got a little bit of overlap on this end, so we're just going to have to kind of mess around with the vertex and see what we're getting. I'm just going to do a face select so that's a little bit more manageable. Or even just get rid of this. See what we start getting with this. Just want to make sure I'm grabbing the entire section so we're not getting some crazy stuff. So let's just move that back right there. And you're probably going to see most of this detail from farther out, so needs to look nice, but you can kind of fudge it a little bit too, because no one's ever going to see this close up except for you guys. And you know, I can actually just take the vertex on both of these, merge them together, do the same for the others. And yeah, I mean, that doesn't look half bad. Looks like it was meant to be. Okay. You know, it's like from back here, you're never gonna see, like, okay, I mean, like, that looks a little bit funky. So, we're just gonna take these vertex right here, move them up a little bit so it starts feeling a bit more, you know, tinty. And, I mean, doesn't look bad. And yeah, I mean, you're never going to be able to tell if that was merged, except for, you know, in this section, but we'll just take this edge. Suddenly did extrude. Okay, so take the edge and we will see about softening this right here. There we go. I mean, not sure what happened right here with the geometry. Maybe it's because it's that's not soft as well. So we'll just go in and take all these faces. I'm using Shift Control to just keep on adding to this so that Feels pretty good. So I'm just going to soften all these. I have to go into our edge, and I'm just going to select the edges instead. I mean, ideally, you should start looking pretty good on this end. We're going to keep this kind of hard crease right here, because that was looking really nice when it wasn't softened. And we'll just harden or soften all these right here. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, does not look bad. Once we have a texture on it and stuff, that'll look a little bit better too. Okay. So, I mean, this actually doesn't look half bad as maybe like a singular upgrade. What we'll do is we'll add this back in at the bottom for each one. I'll just duplicate this again so we have some of the same look that we had. Also, duplicate this out so that we can use it for when we merge the three together. Yeah. Move this in. Just get this out of the way too, because we might need that later. Let's see here. Get this out of the way. Okay. So what we'll want to do is we're going to kind of do the same process we did before, just kind of remove some of this unneeded and unwanted geometry. Going to move these faces right here and just deconstruct it as we need it. And we'll take this area right here in just a minute, but I think, well, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to take it right now because we're going to need it, and I guess we'll get it out of the way of this model. Just make sure we have all the poles we need. Don't need these inside ones. We'll just take the outside and then we'll bring those in later. Let's make sure this has been selected in here. Just do a global selection, so yeah, okay, let's remove this from the group. Let's see. Extract faces. And now we have not sure. It seemed to have separated all of those elements. That's not the worst thing that could happen. Also, we just have some itemized stuff, so that's pretty good. Looks like it just took the facing group. So what we might do is turn this into the front of it. We just move this part of the tent out of the way. So we're not using that right now. That looks like I grabbed a bit too much, but that's alright. So, these under there. Just combine these again. This is where we get a little bit of fun out of this too, because, you know, like, we get to play around with some of this geometry in here, maybe push that forward so it comes into like this shape right here. Just look at the top, make sure it's kind of lined up how I want it. I like that this has a little bit of asymmetry to it as well. You know, no tent's going to be perfect looking, which is what makes a model look great. You know, asymmetry is your best friend. So we'll just take this edge, continue that selection, and we'll extrude out. Just make sure that it doesn't look too funky. Kind of like that. Let's see how many faces we got. 1, 2. We got 4 faces. So, you know, I'm gonna select this model real quick. All the faces on it. I'm gonna remove the faces, extract them all, and what we can do, we'll get this entire group out of the way, just so we have some working room with the asset. And we'll take this by itself. See how we can kind of get this to look like it's lipped in with it. Let's see. So well, let me just combine these real quick. And we'll take this vertex right here, zoom way in on it, because, you know, I want to be able to see what we're working with. I should just have snapping vertex on. So the way you do that is click on this little vertex point. That should give us what we need. Yep. So now I can't move it unless it's snapped to a vertex, which is great. That's exactly what we want. No. We're not going to combine anything yet with the vertex merging, because, you know, we're getting stuff like this. So I might, well, I'd have to extrude this edge right here. Let's turn off snapping. Then what we can do is go back into vertex mode, snap again, and now we have the geometry we needed right there. And look at that's a nice clean fit right there. You know, it looks pretty decent. definitely going to have to fix this up, you know, maybe add in an edge that loops with it. We'll play around with it. I did just notice too, we got flags going in the different direction. Gonna have to mess around with those. But that's not the end of the world. So let's turn snapping off and just kind of play around with this edge a little bit. Working with one side is not the worst thing in the world because, again, that asymmetry, you know, we want to kind of make things look natural. You know, especially with the medieval era, you know, stuff was not pristine at all. It was very crude in the way it was constructed. You know, they had very interesting, you know, stone buildings, but let's just merge this real quick. And yeah, so yeah, you know, they had very crude buildings, especially peasants. You know, they did not have the best quality stuff to look at. So what I might do is just flatten out this edge and then extrude that down so that we're working with a nice clean edge, and then we'll just smooth all this out. So I'll take this edge right here. Pull that in, flatten it. Let's keep working this edge a little bit. Looks like there's a, I don't know, maybe a bit of normal difference right here. Yeah. Just select those and conform. Does not look like it. Average them. No. Set the face. There we go. Nice. Okay, that's much better. We'll just kind of do that with this too. Make sure that everything's uniformed as we're working with it. This might be good, but we'll move this up. Like, what I could do is just we just created all this geometry, but this is what's great about Maya, is you can just flip it. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Now the flags are on the right side as well, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. That's good. I like how that's looking. Okay. We'll keep that. Oh, there we go. That looks like a good mesh. And it helped kind of clean up a little bit what was going on right here. So, just keep working with the model. Trying to get that edge a little bit flat along the way. Too, this helps add a little bit of variability to what we've been working with. You know, don't want it to look like a small variation to the original tent, but we definitely want it to be something that, you know, looks like its own thing. And we've got those normal issues here, so we'll just conform this to the model. That did not look like it worked. Okay. Well, we'll set it to face. There we go. That's much better. And I kind of like this like little lip that's happening here. Don't necessarily know if I care too much on the exact angle, but we'll just adjust that a little bit. Yeah, we'll just do that. Because now we can start creating that edge that's pretty apparent for all around here. Okay. So, we'll just bring this edge down. Extrude out. And we'll just drag that down to about there. Looks like it's pretty uniform with what we got going on already. I'll definitely have to merge these, so let's look at it from this way real quick. Looks like we need to still go down just a little bit more. We'll pop it out a little bit so it has this little alignment going on. And then we can just merge these vertex right in. Oops, I grabbed a few too many vertex here. Okay, and we're just going to do the same thing on this side. You know, just stitching stuff together so it's just a single geometry. Okay, so, you know, we have a pretty nice base for an extension to the original tent. You know, not too much was needed to change for it. All we did is just add a couple stitches here to combine these two, and now that looks like an upgraded tent. We're gonna have to add the outside area and these little stakes, which we can just grab from some of the other model. I'll also have to add this little flare around the outside as well, which shouldn't be too difficult because, well, it's pretty much the same geometry. You know, I'm gonna have to go in and kind of mess around with some of these faces. Looks like I grabbed a few too many faces again. Okay, let's try that one more time. Just make sure nothing else was grabbed. Okay, that's good. Kind of line that up here. That looks pretty good. And then we'll just get rid of some of this unneeded geometry. So that starts to look like the facing group that we had earlier for this little flare. It's a little bit difficult to see right here, but you know, it's pretty well matched up on that end. Looks like we got a little bit of an overlap on here as well, so I'm just gonna have to go in and fix that. Okay, so we'll just go in here and turn on kind of a weighted soft select, so that as we're moving this in, this will kind of move the other geometry with it. Which, maybe increase that to maybe 6. See how that does. Just do a large jump. And for some reason it's not surface. Oh, just up at the 20. Oh, okay. Well, that's let's see what this fall off will do for us. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna just have to keep upping this. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's better. I think it's because I'm working at such a large scale. Yeah, that looks, I mean, pretty good. We're going to have to move the entire thing up, but I'm just going to get this other edge kind of matched up with it first before I go ahead and do that. So a lot of this part is just, you know, working with the assets I have and seeing how I can manipulate things to reuse some of the assets and, you know, the geometry that's already there, and I get some nice variations to things. You know, like I've mentioned before, it's definitely about trying to, you know, put a little bit of asymmetry to it and really getting that kind of medieval feel You know, things aren't going to be perfect, and nothing should ever be perfect. Just doesn't add a whole lot to a game. Variability adds a huge amount to it. Just rotate that a little bit more. Looks like we're starting to get in there. You know, just kind of finagling it a little bit. That looks like a nice lip. I'm going to have to touch that up a bit, but I think that looks pretty nice. Okay, and we're just going to do the same right here. We're going to bring it up to this cross section right here, and then we'll add on to the geometry itself. Let's get a soft select. Select this geometry, make sure I didn't select anything over here. Just turn soft select on again. We'll bring this down to like 75. Maybe 65. Yeah, just try not to catch this edge too much, which doesn't look like we are that bad. Yeah, there we go. And we'll definitely have to bring this in. Okay, so we'll up the soft select to 100 again, so everything's moving with it. Kind of push that snug against the corner. Let's see. Let me just add to this selection. There we go. Kind of rotate that a little bit. Out, and I mean, that's not too bad. Definitely needs a little bit of work, but as you saw with the other stuff, it doesn't really add that much. That overlap once we have the texture on it. But I'll just for design's sake. Bring that down to like 50, so we're not moving as much. And this is where we'll go in and kind of bring up this edge right here, so it kind of feels a little bit more flush to the geometry itself. This definitely doesn't need to be perfect by any means, because again, the distance that you're going to be seeing some of this is going to be pretty far out, and we're not going to see these small little seams. And two, we're going to be combining everything, so you know, one thing when I was first starting out is I always thought you need to kind of have everything rock solid, every corner and every aspect. But the more I started modeling, you know, that variability in how a model looks, you know, nothing's going to be perfect, and your model shouldn't be either. Even things that have been like milled out, those are going to have an aspect of, you know, like, yeah, they're going to look pretty pristine, but they're not going to be perfect. You know, a machine can only get so accurate, and it's by the microns. So, you know, keeping that in mind, like even the most perfect thing that we think is 100% isn't going to necessarily have, at a smaller scale, it's going to have imperfections. And the more crude an object is, the more you're going to see some of that variability. So yeah, that's starting to look pretty good. Gonna have to bring that in just a bit, because that will definitely be noticeable. Kind of overlap that a little bit. Bring that lip in. Okay. Let's just work this side, and we should start being able to stitch some of this together when it comes to our siding for this tent. And let's just work this entire edge so that's flush with our corner. Turn on soft select, make sure everything else in the general area is getting pulled into it. And yeah, it looks pretty good. And let's just look at this from farther out so you kind of see what all this nitty-gritty work is looking like. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I'm not liking what's happened with the overlap, so probably gonna have to pull that out, but let's see here, because you know, it's got some of that overlap in it. Can't necessarily see it as much. It's definitely much more apparent on this larger frame of the tent. So I'll just take this edge again, see if we can do a quick edge select, and just bring that whole thing out just a little bit. Well, that's a little too much. Okay, there we go. And we'll just do the same with this. Yeah, that's not bad. Still getting a little bit of that right here. Looks like it's still fighting for face the farther I get out. I mean, it's definitely well off the panel. Well, we'll see what happens when we combine this. But I'm not going to do that quite yet, just because I want to
not select this dent. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So, just select this object, select the faces, get rid of this. What we'll do too is fix this edge a little bit. Getting that overlap that we're seeing. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, looks like I got rid of a corner that I didn't mean to. That's okay. We'll just delete it from here. Get rid of that. And take this. We'll separate it. Well, actually, let's just make a duplicate of this so we can keep what we kind of have. And then we'll get one of our faces from this. Just move the this to our center. Okay. Let's rotate that a little bit. Yeah, so it's in line with the actual object. Then we should be able to make like a little tread from this. So, what I should be able to do is take this separate piece and duplicate it along a curve. I just need to see how to do that real quick. Let's see here. Oops.
Of this object moving along the motion path with the attached to motion path option, and if I scrub the timeline, you can see I have 110 frames, and in each frame the link moves and rotates 90.
That's not what I'm looking for. has been a minute since I've made an extended object like this, so I'm just looking up a quick tutorial on making that. It shouldn't be too difficult. Because there's a nice tool that Maya has that lets you repeat an object and then it combines that repeated path. It's not like the extrusion that you would normally do off of a path. It's more of like it takes the entire, like most people use it for like a tread, which I mean this is kind of in the same realm. So you would model out like a section of that tread and then repeat that instead of having to model that all by hand over and over again. And like, you know, trying to just move everything along that. So let's see here. Oh man, this guy broke this tutorial into 3 different videos for something that is not needed for 3 videos. Like he could have done this in 1 video in under 5 minutes. But, you know, we'll take it as it is. He's just showing how to model a piece of tread right now, but he isn't really getting to the duplicate part. I'm just kind of skipping through right now. Okay, let's hope through time's a charm. Okay, so, well, he could have done that in 1 go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to zero out this geometry for itself, and we'll do edit, duplicate special. We'll just go into the menu real quick, and we'll just see what duplicate special is doing for us. Okay, I didn't quite do the right settings for this. So I'm just gonna rotate this so it looks semi lined up. And then we'll edit special. Let's get rid of this smart. Oh, there we go. And we'll just translate it like 1 and see if that gets where we want. Nope. Okay. We'll do... Just look and see what he did real quick. Just make sure I'm setting up everything correct. Okay. So we're going to have to just make a bigger jump to this. We'll do like 10 and duplicate special. Nope. Not quite what we were looking for. Okay. So this is going to be just a bit of a, back and forth on the duplicate special. For alignment, since I'm doing this quick, it's, a little bit more back and forth than I would necessarily want, but what you would normally want to do is probably create this like from scratch originally, and then kind of go from there. They're almost there. We'll do 45. Apply. That's a little bit too spaced out. Okay, so, we kind of gave us what we needed, but there's still some handwork that needs to be done for duplicating this out, because this is not perfect, but that's okay, because we don't want it to be perfect. We want all of our stuff to kind of just duplicate this, that over here, take all these, combine them, and okay, cool. Now, what we'll do is we'll just take these vertex and just kind of stitch them how we need them. Turn on our snapping tool, snap all our vertex together. See, this is what I like about eyeballing stuff a little bit, is that, like, okay, like, these didn't quite line up how I needed them to, but that's okay, because we were able to get this little variability in how they're kind of stitching. Like, yeah, it looks repeated right now, but that'll play out kind of nice later on. So none of these vertex are actually combined at this moment. Oh my goodness. There we go. But that's okay, because we'll just combine them in just a second. And that should take care of our merge. Let's just make sure that it actually did merge those vertex together. Yep, those are together. Okay, cool. Everything's combined together now. Don't have to worry about that anymore, which is good, because now we have a full siding we can mess around with. And I can just duplicate this out too. And this is just going to be, you know, something we just kind of finagle around the side. We'll use our good old soft selection tool to kind of work this edge and around here. Doesn't look like, well, didn't really need to go that far, but I mean, now you guys know how to make some extra geometry. So you know, I'd rather work with more than less, because, well, if you're trying to, you know, if you don't have enough, then you're gonna have to just add more to this, and I'd rather just take, you know, more from that than anything. So we'll snap these to this vertex right here. Let's just make sure that see what we're working with. Cool. And then actually just go back into our soft select real quick. Smooth this out. Cool. And look at that. Like butter. Let's combine this in so that I'm working with the entire just merge these vertex together. Let's do merge the center. And yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we can just kind of like move these around a bit and kind of see what we're working with here. Bring this kind of corner in right here. And we'll just select this whole face group, because we're going to need to kind of reposition it. Like right there. That should be good. And we'll bring the soft select down to like, I don't know, like 20. There we go. So it didn't quite move that how I was expecting it to, but that's okay, because we can just keep moving this geometry around. That's all this is, just moving geometry. You know, creating a little bit, moving it back, seeing how stuff combines together, and just going from there. You know, it's a fun little relaxing process. It also kind of helps jumping between your development and provides a nice relaxing break in between the two. Instead of just programming all the time, you can go ahead and build out some nice little assets, which looks like we're not going to need these at all, so we can just get rid of those. Again, I'd always like to just work with more geometry than less, because you can always get rid of. It's always a pain to add to. There's just a little bit more work that's involved around that. Let's turn saw select off. Move that geometry around. Just right there. And I mean, that's not that bad. That looks like some regular siding. We got a little bit of asymmetry in here. That's another thing with saw select. It's like, well, things aren't going to be perfect on how they move, and that's okay, because we're looking for that kind of variability in everything that we do. So this is still separated. I'll probably have to combine these later, but for right now we can just do a vertex snap and we'll be all set. Let me just make sure I can see what I'm working with in there as well. There. Look at that. We got a nice side panel. Again, we got this like weird overlap happening. I'm going to see what happens when I combine. Let me just save this file real quick. Oh God. Of course I can't spell to save my life, so. Okay. Just something that's recognizable for your naming convention. I like to do camel casing with this, just to keep consistent with our programming. So let's just combine this real quick and see if that helps kind of mitigate some of our overlap, which it did not. I don't know why this is working so nice, even though there's tons of overlap everywhere. Maybe it's because they're kind of like bowed out a little bit, and these are not. So what I'll do is I'll just undo that, combine, because we're not quite ready to move this on to the next stage. So I'm going to just have to pop these out a little bit so they don't. Still got vertex. Yeah, there we go. That's looking a lot better. Okay, so we'll do the same with all the edges that we already did. Pop those out. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Do that for this side too. Pop those out. And yeah, that pretty well fixed our issue. There's something that I can change in the settings of Maya as well that would help mitigate this problem that I'm seeing with this overlap, because like, you know, when I get up here, it's not an issue. When I get farther out, you can see it seems to like duplicate that issue times 5. Something with the way that Maya draws on its like front face. So what we'll do is not really worry about that too much at this point, and see how that looks in Unity, and kind of go from there if it's a problem. But for right now, we'll just keep moving forward and get the rest of this fray around the side of it. So let's see how many we need to end the side. 4? Okay. So we'll just take, well, we'll keep 5 in just in case, because, you know, variability can happen. Whoops. Okay. And we'll just do the same thing we did on the other side. Actually, don't need to, because we can do, well, I don't know if this will necessarily be a perfect mirror. You know what? We're just going to do it on this side again anyway. What I was thinking about doing is if this was a perfect mirror, which it's close, but, well, okay. If I just move this edge over, because why do more work if you have to? Kind of do this. Let's do the edge right here. Yeah, that looks pretty close. And so what we'll do is we'll save real quick before we do this, just in case, you know, it doesn't work out how we're planning. But, whoop, already going so well. Okay. We'll get rid of this side. We'll get rid of our soft select. We will mirror. And direction plus. I think we mirrored over the Z last time. Yep. And just move that out. Created kind of this weird chunk between. It's like merging. Let's see if we can change the merge threshold a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit too much. Well, and I mean, there we go. Look at, we got the other frame, and it's gonna be identical, but that is not really the end of the world. Let's pop that up to like 2. There we go. And look at that. We got our frame on both sides. It looks pretty decent. It's not the greatest in the world, but I like it. And we'll just smooth. Whoops. Soften the edge. And look at that. That looks pretty nice. Still got like some weird normals happening right here. Just gonna pop the faces. Have it conform to itself. set to face. See what that did for us. And okay, so that got rid of our smoothing. Let's see what happens whenever we smooth this. It might just give us exactly what we had before, but let's see. Well, it looks good. It's just now it's completely apparent to what it was. Let me try selecting these edges and seeing if that gets rid of our problem. We are almost there. Maybe, I guess we just this. All these little edges right here. Soften. Yeah, that looks like it fixed it. I think with the texture, this is going to look a little bit better. Looks like it just kind of like created a seam right here. If you look at it over here, and that might mess with the lighting, but let's see what happens when we put a texture on it later and go from there. Just might kind of grab this edge right here and soften that as well. Make sure that we're staying consistent with everything. Which, you can kind of see that seam where everything's kind of stitched. Which, I think this is just a Maya lighting issue. Like, not an issue, but once we get a texture, that won't be the case anymore. We won't be able to see that type of stuff happening. So, same with this faces. I think that it's just actually to test this. Save. Let's just combine all of these real quick just to make sure that we're not crazy. And well, actually, let me just get these to where they actually need to be, so we can get kind of a good look at what we're doing here. Size that up. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough for right now because we're just going to do a quick export. Just to see and to make sure. Let's combine all these objects real quick. Combine, and we'll just export selection. Call this test. And I'll switch this over for you guys to, well, just finding the location of this real quick. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to import the references, and oh, it looks like FBX was in here. Maybe I just need to do it from here real quick. Yeah, I just missed it. Okay, so I'm exporting the selection. We'll call it test tent. Grab that. Cool. Have test tent. I'm just putting the test tent in our tents model folder. Just copy that over. And then we'll jump over into Unity. Switch this over for you guys. Cool. Okay. Okay, so it's importing it right now. Just going to take a second for that to run through. Okay. So, I'm going to go into my tents folder. Content, models, and tents. Tent. Where's the tent? You know what? I'll just type in tent test because this is going to test tent. Cool. We'll bring this into our scene. It's right down there. And so we're definitely not getting that overlapping that we were seeing in Maya, but this is less than ideal right here. So I'm gonna have to go in and fix that, and just, I mean, this is not UV unwrapped in any regard, so, but we'll just see what happens when we toss a good old I mean, it does hide it. It is still there, though. Definitely is. Didn't even turn the smoothness down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It's probably UVs and also a bit of the normal issue. But I mean, it's not looking bad right now. Now this is our original tent, and we'll have, you know, a two-faced tent right here. And, you know, at the end of it, we'll probably just have 3, and just that'll be our 3rd upgrade. You know, easy identifiable for people to recognize, and we can kind of go from there. I'll get rid of this asset because don't want that just chilling in the scene. But, you know, we're getting there. So I'm going to switch back over to Maya and bring you guys with me. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we don't need to worry about this facing overlap that we're seeing in Maya itself just isn't a concern. So now we're going to just want to combine these edges. Let's see. So I'll just use my snapping tool again. Combine those. Let's just make sure I'm not grabbing any other vertex. Cool. And we'll just do the other side real quick. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. I was like, what the heck? This does not look like what we were working with. Aha! I accidentally combined the faces that we were going to put in, but that's not a problem. Just a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, that's out of there. Good. Don't need those floating around no more. And then I'll go back to what we were doing. Okay. Oh, it's just coming right along. Okay, now we'll should probably just take a duplicate of this. What? Turn snapping faces off. And what we'll do is select our face group and start getting rid of this unneeded geometry right here. Actually, well, we'll see in just a second. Basically, what I should be able to do is faces, select all my faces. I got faces on my bases. We'll extract face. Cool. This will give us the ability to just kind of get rid of this fringe that we don't want. So these extra assets that are kind of buried in there. And now we can just go in and delete the rest by hand. Instead of trying to mess around with things that we don't need in there, just mitigating that as much as possible. And now, you can just take this and rotate her around like so, like, yeah, about like there, give or take. We'll find out what we actually need in just a second. And that looks beautiful. this around. Quite get the match that I was looking for. But, I mean, we're definitely getting there. I think maybe if I like size this up just a bit, I can't remember if I actually sized all of that. It looks a bit funky. Maybe it's because of the variability that it had. Like, this was not the actual front of it. The front is right here. Yeah, that's okay. Give me 1 second. Just keep that right there. Line it up this way, and yeah, that looks pretty good. So it definitely needs to be like rotated a tad. Just get that overlap in. Cool. Take these faces. Here. Whoop. Everything else. Actually, let's just dupe. Dupe it. Dupe the barrel roll. And then we'll just get rid of the rest of these faces that we don't want for the piece we need. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to need a little bit of work to get that in, but I think maybe this just needs to move out too. Like there. So I like that. I might size this down just a bit, but let's see what we're working with here. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So we'll select this, go into, we'll just go into edge mode so we can go see the edges here. And it looks like it just needs to be like shifted a bit. Like so. Ever so gingerly moved. Yeah, I don't know why this is not lining up. How, like, I haven't made really any size changes to anything. It's all been pretty basic. I'm pretty basic. Just like my viewer audience, you're basic. Yeah, well, we'll just go in and make this better. Maybe that's part of it too. I gotta move this down a little bit. Maybe I grabbed too much as well. Oh. I'll take it. Because what I can do from here is just start grabbing these face sides and making it all kind of line up. Yeah, I'm not going to spend all day on that. Okay. Okay. Let's just keep moving on. So, I'm going to combine these. I'll stitch my faces a little bit. Just make sure we turn soft selection on, turn that up to 100. Just, maybe like 200. Yeah, there we go. Just so that we're carrying over some of the drag that's happening. And then we'll just start snapping all this for these bottom sections. Just so it starts feeling a bit uniformed. And then kind of go in here, load this, make sure it looks good. And I mean, it looks like it belongs. One of us. One of us. And then we'll just merge everything. Let's make sure our threshold. Yeah, okay. We're still good. And let's just double check, make sure. Yeah, okay. That looks peachy. Oh, thank you, Floppy. Thank you. Oh, I need the clip master. The clip master. Okay, so, oh man, excitement all the way around. This thing is just not lining up how I was hoping. You just have to keep finagling around. Okay, I gotta see what this is. The basics. Oh man. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that is perfect. Oh man. Yeah, that's oh, good times. Okay. Man, this is just not lined up whatsoever. I don't know what is going on with this corner. Like, it just got all sorts of funky. Try to extend that out a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take this face. Q basic actually. Is that supposed to be short for me basic? You basic, me basic. We all basic. Oh, completely grabbed the wrong side. Well, these edges are looking pretty good over here. Just gonna keep trucking along. Looks like I can move this down too a little bit. Do that once I've kind of gotten some of this moved in. Goodness gracious. Every time I move this thing, man, just keeps shifting on me. Kind of the basics of, moving geometry. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm just trying to align this base to the geometry that's here before I combine everything, so I'm not like waiting the stuff out. Which, I mean, this is going to be gone. I should just delete this right now because I'm not going to need it. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna take this and that and combine these suckers, and then I'll vertex each of my corners with weights first, so that the drag of everything kind of carries over. And I just love soft select, man. It is a godsend when moving geometry around. Like, it makes everything so nice and party. Okay, and then we'll keep soft select on, but we'll just bring this down to like 100, so it's not messing up too much of our other geometry. But it's still carrying enough weight to solidify these sides. And we're trying to keep that cloth look and like that droop that's happening in this, which kind of getting messed up a little bit at the top, but not that bad. Haha. Okay. Yes. Yes. QBasic. I just looked it up. It is a programming language. That's always good to know. Good one. Jits Poe. Totally butchered it, but nailed it. Okay. Cool. Got all that. Well, that's looking pretty good. It's not 100% stitched in there, but I can just combine these vertex again. And let's just make sure that did get stitched in. Hopefully, damn it. Okay. I don't know why that did not merge with it. I'll just do this by hand real quick, at least for this section. Ooh. Okay, what's going on here? Maybe these got shifted too much. Also, the threshold might not have been up too high, but like, try not to grab some of this stuff either. Yeah, it somehow got like shifted big time. Cool. That's looking good. I think I just need to turn that threshold up, but I was a bit afraid that if I did that, I would just run into some complications with this fray that's nearby. For some reason, the weights like shifted this way too much. Like, it didn't look like it shifted very much anywhere, but it must have been just off, just enough for everything to not be merged in. But it's okay, we're just going to stitch it by hand. I'm the Stitch Master. Okay. Ooh, where do we merge over here? Okay. A la mode. Okay. Cool, that's taken care of. We are almost done with this side, and then we can just mirror the magic of modern technology. Okay, that's merged. Woo! Now, we're going to have an issue with this, but hopefully just mirroring this is going to be, I don't know, it should merge pretty cleanly. Let's take this, go into face mode, just do this from the top, because take it from the top, and okay, there we go. It's not merged in, was it? Whatever. Okay. Now we can mirror and just mirror. Do over Y? No, over Z. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, and see that? Look at, oh my god, that looks so good. I'm left a little bit of a chunk. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. And let's just do that again. That's what we're looking for. Look, it's like a sticky tent. Look at that. Just, oh. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I should maybe widen this, or maybe add a section that kind of comes in right here on both ends. I think I might do that because, yeah. Let me just do that real quick. At least this is looking a little bit better. So, just going to take this, well, crap. You know what? Do it like the edge. The edge, the edge, the edge of glory. Extrude that out. And we'll bring that, we'll bring like one right here, because, you know, we need to keep with our geometry right here. There we go. Well, we won't bring that down too much, but we'll just extrude again. And see, this gives us a nice little lip too, right here. Look at that. Feels like it's kind of extended out a bit. I might straighten this out. I might. It's just, I mean, it looks nice with that curve, but that just would not be natural at all. Okay. That is... I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I need it. Okay. And we'll flatten this edge out just because. I don't know. I kind of like how that looks. We put like a little stake here to make it look like it was stapled in. Let's just see what that looks like mirrored, and we'll go off to the races. Okay. Well, yeah, just checking messaging across the board just to make sure I'm keeping up on the peeps. Keep up with my peeps. Okay. Oh, what happened here? That looks like some funky geometry. Okay, let's see what happens. I just mirror this one more time. We'll have to change the threshold. Holy cow. Yeah, it's way up there. Okay. But we like our sticky tents. Look at that. It's like honey. Yeah. So I might just need to go in and... that looks horrendous. Do 2. Nope. Do 20. Nope. That just made some really bad geometry right there. Let's do 10. And it's still not looking so great. Uh, 5. Let's bring that in a little bit. that just is going to be a problem area, it looks like. So, I mean, like, that's not the end of the world, because we can just go in, delete some of that crappy geometry, and then dupe it. Like I said before, dupe the barrel roll. Okay. Get some of this crazy geom out of there. You're out of here! Okay. That's still part of it, isn't it? Just gonna keep deleting, and then what we'll do is we'll take what we created earlier, dupe that, keep doing barrel rolls everywhere. There we go. Let me save this real quick because we have made some good progress on this tent and I do not want it to get lost. Okay. So we'll like bring this corner in right here. I'll delete some of these extends right here. Don't need them, don't want them. They can go. Okay. Yep. And then we're just going to soft select per the usual. Bring this down to like 50. So, like we saw earlier, some of this overlap's not going to really matter because when we zoom out, you're not going to see it. So, we're just going to leave that as is. Get rid of this other geometry we just do not need. And we'll just have to do that for this side too. So that kind of stands out, you know, like a damn sore thumb. Gonna have to kind of get that looking like how the other ones are. Probably should have just duplicated some of the geometry that was here, but I mean, what the? Oh, we got. Okay, what the heck is going on with this? Oh, this is actual, like, try. Okay. Trying to get rid of you. Yeah, that looks like enough, like, frilly. Again, you're not going to be seeing it this close. Like, you know, some of this is just picking your battles. What the? Did I not combine these? No, I did not. Okay. Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't grab any unneeded geometry that just is just living out in the blue. This looks not so great. Okay, that should be, I mean, we're getting pretty close to finishing this thing up. I'll have to go in and UV unwrap this and all that jazz, but actually, we'll keep that right there like that, and then we'll just kind of move these up. Kind of give it that droop that these other ones got on them. These are a little bit extended. I mean, ugh. Okay, so yeah, turning around the geometry definitely helps. Doesn't need to look pretty, because, oh, yeah, doesn't need to, because it looks like everything else. Okay, so yeah, getting some weird, like, face collisions in Maya, but when I bring it into Unity, it looks fine. So yeah, that's our upgraded 10. Woo! Look at it. Okay, well, I still need to put up some of these, actually, so. So, what I should probably actually do, instead of just trying to mess around with this damn thing, get rid of that, take this, dupe that again, because, you know, we just can't have enough geometry in our scene. And we'll separate it out. See if everything's separated. Yep. Okay, cool. So now we can just start stealing these from the other tent and putting it around our new tent. Okay, so I don't need that one. Well, yeah, no, I should totally put a little stake there too. Just gotta put the other kind of stake there, like a T-bone. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, that was like almost perfect. I'm gonna just rotate that. Well, you know what? No. We're gonna... Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Since this one's already here, I'm just going to duplicate that. Pull this one on over. Well, crap. No, you know what? I'm not going to mirror this again, because screw that noise. This will also give us some of the asymmetry that I want out of this. Okay, cool. Don't want things too perfect. You want them just right. Like a T-bone steak. Cool. These look a little bit high. I just throw that one out of there. Yeah, it does not look like it lines up very well. Let me just create a quick plane and see what we're working with here. Ah, those are in the ground. Okay. This one could go down a little bit. That. Yeah, you know, that looks pretty natural. You know, not every stake is going to be perfectly in the ground. You know, maybe somebody was in a rush. Like, damn it, we're building this tent and we're building it quick. And we'll just keep on adding these little suckers in. And we'll just add some of the variability in there. You know, you don't want everything perfect. I'm gonna go in and change this geometry around a little bit, just because I don't like that it's coming down this angle. I want it more like this. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Cool. Just rotate that like so. Put it so. Yeah, you know, that could actually be pretty natural, because like the pull on this is gonna give it that you know, that arc right there, and then we'll be pulling it this way, and hopefully the tension, you know, quote unquote, would be just as natural with that. It's a little thing. You want things to look physically real when you're building stuff out. Alright, put that on the side. Okay, yeah, you know what, we're going to match this side as well. And we'll just move this down over here, kind of like the other one was. Again, like, things don't need to be perfect. They don't. Nothing in the world is perfect. And neither should your models. That is the quote of the day. That's why I like to eyeball them, you know, even just like looking back this far and trying to place something, because, like, you know, like, you're going to get more asymmetry out of that model. And this, like, well, the front of this is a little bit too perfect. I mean, that is like a rock solid square, or rectangle. Like, the original one is, you know, a bit skewed and way off, which is like, I like that, you know? That looks like somebody is just a jackass and didn't know how to put up a tent. This looks like, man, just perfect. Look at, this guy needed every angle to be rock solid. So we'll go in and we'll just add that asymmetry in, because why the hell not? Let's just get rid of this. Let's select our object. We'll separate everything again. And then now anything that wasn't like attached is going to be separate out, and then we can kind of just mess around with this whole corner. Do like 300, 300%. It's over 300. Okay, well, and then we'll just kind of, yeah, I mean, maybe 400. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay. Pull these. Oh, I don't have any stakes for these. Damn. Okay. Well, let's move this first. Where's my move tool? Whoa, it's way over there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's a whale of a wash. Where is my center pivot? I just want my center pivot. Come on, center pivot. Ah, there we go. Okay. And we're going to need to kind of scale that up a bit because it got a bit skewed. Skewed. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, don't even need that anyway, so bleh. Perfect. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Cool. That looks like a janky ass tent if I ever saw one. Okay. Well, that is upgrade number 1. Number 1, you need it on deck. Mm-mm-mm. And sweet. I'll just move this little piece up just a hair. And then move that back right there. Okay. I'm good with this. This is going to be... Let's make sure, one more pass. Look at it. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, look at it. We'll combine everything. And we will... Okay, well this is centered, but not really centered. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, I am calling this thing good. And let's just go in. So, okay, well that's polygon. Create. We could just create like an empty. Like, we'll do this. We'll do this. What? Oh, grabbed completely the wrong tent. Okay, let's try this again. Do that, and it's still 0, 0, 0. See, like, you know, it should just pick up the transform that is the parent of it. Like, why is 0 over here? Okay. Well, let's see about just exporting this. And seeing what we get in Maya, or Unity. You know, it's nice to test along the way. Okay, let's jump on over to Unity. Unity. Do they just like a lot of tea? Unity. Okay, doke artichoke. Tent. See our new tent. I did not. What the hell did I name it? Tent L. Hey. There's that bad boy. Okay, so the transform's way off. Looks like we got some weird stuff going on in the front too. I don't know if that's just because it wasn't like Smooth grouped. Or what? Let's take a look in here. So, yeah, okay. Must have been when I was messing around with the movement in general. Now this is treated like geometry the other. I am just going to move this back. Right. That looks not so great. Okay. Okay, I like that. That looks good. Calling it good. Except for this. That's not good. There's this. Okay. This looks like the damnedest tent if I ever saw. Just name this tent L2. We'll replace it. I'll jump it back into Unity. And I'll bring that back in. 1 second. Deleting the old one. Pasting the new one. Okay. Let that import for a second. Fixed. Perfect. Okay, that looks great. So, I'm not going to spend UV unwrapping it at this moment. The center does need to be fixed. So I'll have to go in and fix that. But overall, that looks like a good upgrade tent to our regular tent. You know, it's a bigger size, nothing fancy. Just added another tent section to it. Now, get this, okay? You're gonna lose your freaking mind. We're gonna add a third section over here, and guess what? We're gonna do the same steps. So, let's get to it. So, as I like to say, dupe the barrel roll. And we got another one. Woo-hoo! And see, that dupe looks good. Like, why is it... okay, well, okay, I mean, that duplication looks solid. We got a solid tent. I'm going to clean up the scene a little bit. Just because there's some stuff we don't really need in here. And really, to add in this third one, it's not going to be that hard. I'm going to get rid... Well, let me save. Scene. I'll save as. We'll do medieval tent upgrades V2, just because if I want to come back in here and I delete something I shouldn't have, I have a copy of it. So I'm going to keep this. I don't think I need any of this. This can just go. That looks useful. This, not even close. We have some of our other assets that we created earlier. I'm going to keep that as well. Just because, you know, because. That's why, because of all the wonderful things we does. Okay, so we're gonna separate this out. We're gonna delete. We don't need that. Don't need that either. Hey, guess what else we don't need? These. Okay. Now, I'm gonna just go in and just destroy all of this, because we don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. Ooh, I did need those. Actually, I don't need it either. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's fun. It feels good. Okay. Why is that getting selected? Okay, now we got another section that is opened up for some tent. Now, okay, now we're gonna go in and we're just gonna do the same thing we did before. You know, we don't need to do anything fancy with this. I'm gonna separate this out because there's some stuff in here that I just don't need. I don't need. Oh boy. Probably should have kept something, but you know what? No, screw it. We're going to keep all the flags the same. But I'm going to put like a script on it that makes them wobble. Wobble dee wobble dee wop. Wobble dee wobble dee wop. We'll just separate this out. Get rid of the things we do not need again and again and again. Might keep these. Well, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna build them out. So I probably should make the extended area right here. Fill it out. I don't need these areas. Well, let's see here. So, probably just get away with duping
deleting. And moving this sucker right here so that we can continue to push geometry around. We gotta show that geometry who's boss. And to do that, you just gotta manipulate it, man. You gotta just push it. You gotta keep pushing. You can't stop pushing. And that looks a little bit high for some reason. Let's do that. Oh, it got low on that side. Let's get in a view that will be a bit beneficial to us. So, looks a bit skewed. Let's de-skew. Oh, really? Oh, man. Okay, I didn't switch you guys over. Thank you. Sorry. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, I am a dumbass. Thank you. Here you go. So, man, I did not switch over from Unity. So, okay. I've just been messing around with this tent, and I have my base tent that I made earlier. Well, I didn't actually make this asset earlier. I already had this one. And then I made an upgraded version of it. And now I am opening up this section and just adding the third area for the tent. So that, I'm going to switch you back to Unity real quick. That our upgrades, well, I mean, you get the point in Maya. Here's our upgraded tents. We get class 1, this is our level 1 tent, level 2 tent, level 3 tent, obviously is going to have a third section on it. Not anything too crazy, I'm just building this stuff out. But duplicated the tent, deleted this section, and am combining this together. Probably before I do that though, I am going to soft select gonna bring this to about 100, maybe 150. Yeah. So we can kind of grab some of the tent with it, magnet that to our other vertex. I'll just right click vertex so we can see the other vertex on the geometry that we're moving to, and just kind of move the corners into their respective slots. And then just kind of do that for the rest of these. But I'm going to turn soft select off now and keep on moving and grooving. So I'm not combining any of these at this moment in time because I can just group select everything and set my threshold up and combine them all at once instead of doing it one by one by one. That is just the most painful process in the world. It just sucks. Sometimes you have to do it when there's just a lot of close geometry, but not this time, bucko. I don't really care for what's happening with this lip, so I'm going to soft select on. Make this 100.
and kind of, gotta turn snapping off. Kind of shift that geometry down a little bit. It's okay if we move some of the stuff that I already moved in, because that doesn't really matter at this point. We're just trying to keep the droop on this as solid as possible. And that's why we turn soft select on. I'm going to actually just go in and move this like that. Yeah, I mean, the geometry, like, you want it clean. I'm working with a lot of tries right now. So, I mean, But, I mean, they can all be converted into quads if needed. But, just going to keep dragging this stuff around. Maybe just grab a section of these and just move them, because that looks a bit odd right there. Turn snapping off. Got to keep doing that. And yeah, I mean, like, that looks pretty decent. It's not bad, you know? Okay, now we can take these, combine them, and then hopefully everything lined up good. We can just select our vertex, just grab this area. Can be a bit sloppy with it, you know. A little bit sloppy joes. Okay. And then just merge vertex. I'm going to bring that up just by like 2, because before my merge didn't work. And we'll just test and verify, because it's a good habit. Yeah, so it looks like everything merged well. Just test a couple different sections. Okay. Everything merged. We're good. Now, I need to just take this, and I'm going to actually just duplicate this out, because, well, we have the geometry. Why keep creating more geometry that we already have? Cool. I'll just start moving this around into its respective area. And then we'll just kind of do the same thing we did with the outside of the tent. We'll move that in. I mean, it lines up decently well. Not so great. But that's okay, because we'll just soft select, move some of these vertex around. Should probably just grab the whole face, and then we can move the whole facing kind of like group to kind of line up with this tent outside. And we'll grab the corner, do that, turn down this. Rotate it out a bit. And I mean, like, it's not bad. And again, not bad. I'll just move this out just a tad. And then we'll do the same thing we did before. I'll select this, go into vertex mode, right click, vertex over the other, so we can see the vertex, but we're not actually in the same grouping. And I turned on snapping, so everything's snappity-doo-dah, snappity-day. My vertex are combining. I don't know the rest. And let's see. Yep. Okay. Cool. Now we'll combine. Yeah, I just read your comment. Yeah, that I I've been wanting to set up something so that when I'm selecting a screen, it can auto set, but I haven't figured that out for the stream settings. So I'm just playing it as it is for most of the time by manual selection. So yeah, I'm just gonna do what I did earlier, kind of mass select, kind of crudely, and then merge. Let's test and verify. And I mean, it looks like it worked. Let me just get this damn thing off. Okay, cool. That is solid. Let's just fix these little edges up a little bit, just because soft select. We'll do 25 this time because I'm not trying to move everything, but just this little bit of a corner. I don't really care how that looks right now, or care for how it looks. So I'm gonna just have to mess with that. Maybe move that up a little bit, and just kind of just push the vertex around, show them who's boss. And go from there. Okay, so I mean, okay, there's a gap. It doesn't matter this far out. Somebody's, the game is not going to be, this close on all the geometry, so I don't even care. But there's probably going to be some things that I'm going to need to, for certain items, have to think about how close people are going to be. And we kind of have to turn this up to we'll do 100 because this whole section needs to kind of shift. Okay. I don't know what is. Did I rotate this? Okay, yep, that's what happened. I was like, what in the heck is going on here? I must have somehow moved it. Okay, well, that's combined pretty well. I like how that looks. Now what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll combine everything back. So we're working with our kind of group. We'll move this in right here. The reason I stitched in this area versus rotated this is I didn't feel like unstitching and restitching this flag to match the other one. So I just spent a little extra time kind of messing around with that. I could have done this, and I probably relatively easily could have moved this flag. I don't know. But just as easily as we can create, we can also delete. We're just going to get rid of everything we don't want, which is basically this whole section. And we're going to do that for the other side. Just going to, do this like a boss and not call Rick Ross. I don't want to call Rick Ross. It's going to just wreck everything up. Oh, jeez. You just turn soft select off so I can see what I'm doing. Making sure I'm getting everything in here. And cool. Now that we have this, let me just get rid of that. We can kind of park this puppy right in. And have to do a little bit of work. I might... I'm going to keep it the same size, because I don't know. I like keeping consistency. What would be nice is to have like a tool, kind of like the mirror tool, that kind of like merges these together. There's the Boolean operation. Might go so we want. I think I scaled these up a little bit. I think that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, looks like it. So, that looks a little bit off. Let me just bring that back to the size it was. Oh, what I can do is just take this edge and bring it down a little bit, scale her up. Okay, and then we're just going to stitch everything together as best we can. This is going to be a little bit more of a thing. Like, I'm going to have to probably... Let's see here. Yeah, I just don't like the alignment that's happening right there. It looks... I don't know, just a wee bit off from everything that I've been doing. Like, I guess I'll just do that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. And then what I might do is maybe like lip these onto each other. I just get rid of this geometry inside and then just staple this onto this end of it. I was hoping for a bit of a cleaner fit, just because these are all hexagons and, well, I don't know, there seems to be like weird overlap happening. But that doesn't matter because we are masters of pixel manipulation. Okay. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to turn on a little bit of soft select and just kind of push these guys around. Whoop. Selected the wrong one first. I want to be working on this layer. And then, well, vertex that. There we go. And then just kind of see where this takes us. I'm going to turn this up to like 100. That's not nearly enough. I need like 200. Yeah, that looks like about what we're looking for. Okay. And just like the outside of the tent, when I was stitching stuff together, I'm going to just push these pixels around. Well, vertex. Vertices. Vertici. And then just move this stuff in kind of a respective manner. Maybe not too crazy, but just want to kind of take the points, or the corners at least. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I want to match this corner with that corner. And see, we kind of respect the drag of this too, which is nice. You know, I have the weight of this high enough up that
it's not overlapping onto this vertex that I moved earlier, but we're getting some general movements overall. And that's just going to keep that cloth look. And like I did over there, I'm going to do over here, you know? So we get kind of a nice clean cut right here. I'm not going to do a Boolean operation. I'm just going to stitch stuff and then kind of move out from there. And then I can come back in and edit this geometry. And then probably turn this down to like 50 so that we're not messing around with any of the other vertex, but we're still kind of getting a weight, maybe like 75, well, 76, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that still didn't really do too much. But, I mean, it's kind of moving the geometry where we need it. Which is kind of what we're looking for. That's that tug and pull that we're getting from the original tent. I kind of like how that, like, look at that. That looks nice and clean, a nice curve. And it adds enough variability to this. So let's just do this face. There we go. Okay. Gonna delete it. Oh my goodness. Face. Face. Okay. Just so I can see the geometry that I need and do not need. Because we're going to try to stitch these. Might actually just... you know what? I will just go and cut these with the cut tool. Because... I mean, this feels nice out here, okay? Like, I'm not too concerned with the geometry that this is producing. Like, yes, it's good to keep clean geometry throughout, but you're going to want to just, you know, go from there. So, what I'm going to do is just follow the line up with the cut tool. Polymodeling, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of follow this. Well, this might be less than ideal. Because we're not going to be able to actually do a full merge. Okay, you know, I'm going to leave the cut tool out of this because it's going to get a bit messy. What we can do is just take the edge and meet the other edge. So, I'm just going to go into vertex mode and match some of these vertex with the other one. This inside doesn't need to be too crazy. So, got my snapping on. Got vertex, vertex. I'm going to say vertex. You've got our other one right here. And, oh boy. What are we going to do with this one? I'm going to say put it on a vertex.
Just gonna keep pushing these puppies around. These puppies are barking. Arf, arf. Okay. That looks a little bit low. We'll... bottom of this geometry is going to get a bit messy. It's like, what the hell is going on with this right now? So, we have some faces. Everything's been a clean cut so far. I gotta see what happened here. Maybe I like shifted. Well, no. I'm not sure what happened to this side. I'm gonna get this side. Cut down the... there's that damn flag. Okay. Well, this is gonna be, like I said, a bit more in-depth than what we were really looking for out of this, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. We got this. We got it like it's the 4th of July. Well, I could turn this into a triangle. Okay. Bottom of this got a little bit messy. Not a fan of how that looks. That looks really disgusting. But we can delete this face. We can move this vertex. Snap them. Vertex. And then we can actually just create a face with this. Ooh. Oh, going to do this side now. Sorry, stepped away for a moment. So, just need to keep pushing pixels, aka vertices, aka stuff that the computer reads for Unity. It's a little bit less than ideal for this section. The vertex were lining up pretty well to begin with, and then just kind of fell apart at the end here. Okay, let us see. Yeah. Okay. So let's just snap this sucker in. And this is where we're going to have our issues. Well, actually, did that make a nice quad? Yes, it did. Okay. Well, I'll take it any way I can get it. Perfect. Didn't have to delete anything on this side. So, got that. And, you know, eh. And then I'll combine these. Yeah, screw it. I'm combining them. I'm saving first. I will... I can do... Okay, artichoke. We'll do some more soft select. I'm gonna turn this down to like 50. 25 is gonna be my pal. No, 50 was where it was at. And we'll just kind of cross these, because, like, does it really matter? No. No. Look, everywhere I go. No. Okay. Cool. I mean, I'm okay with that crossover. I don't care about it. I don't need it. I'm gonna run with it. Same with over here. Just gonna do a crisscross applesauce and just keep moving along. That's all we can do. We can just keep making stuff, keep creating stuff, and have this just kind of look like anything we really want it to be, you know? Like, we're the designers of the space. And look at that. Okay. I'm okay with this. Like, don't like it, but I'm gonna deal with it. We're gonna do... Whoa! No, 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 no. There we go. Oh, first, let's save again. Let us vertex this out. All this should be good. So we'll just grab this section globally again. It's a little bit bigger, but you know, who cares? We're doing it. And then we'll just merge vertex, And it should have merged our vertex. Yes, it did indeed. Okay. Now, what we're going to have to do is just bridge. Whoa. Maybe I should turn everything soft. Yeah. Bridge. And why did that do that? Looks disgusting. Well, we'll just extrude. And we'll just bring this puppy out. We will vertex snap like we've been doing. And we'll merge to center. Just like everything else. Cool. Okay. And we just need this side. And then we'll have to put our little stakes in. And we can pretty much call this done. So, these still need to both be UV unwrapped, but that's not what we're going to be focused on tonight. Because that is for a different night. Maybe tomorrow night. We'll find out. Coming to a theater near you. Extrude. Push. Hey, they snapped. Cool. Snappity-doo-dah. Snappity-day. Oh. Control Y. I'm Yn. They call me. Okay. Vertex. Snap. Snap, snap. Ginger snap. Okay, cool. That. Got that. And look at that. That is a 3-tiered tent. We have a 3-tiered tent. Whoa. 3 tiers. That is a level 3 upgrade tent. What? We have a trading post. I should probably put some storage in here. I gotta see what I'm doing with that aspect of the game. Because, you know, I really like Caesar. And I like what they did with the place. Oh, these aren't combined? Oh no. Maybe did I separate these out? Oh, somehow these got like not combined. Same with those. Well, we'll just have to combine this whole thing. Once I get my steaks, I need some steak. Give me some steak. No snap for you. Snap foo. A snapping foo. Good. Cool. Dupe 'em. Duping. keep on duping. We're doopity. Doopity doop. Yeah, it still needs to be rotated. We're gonna doop doop doop. We're gonna keep on dooping. Doopity doopity doop. Okay, cool. And oh, what's that? We duped again. Duping them. And gonna just keep on doopity dooping. Shoop de doop. Yeah, I kind of missed this area. Gonna need it, because we're duping. Ooh, duped a little too hard. See, look at that. It's like it was meant to be. Just look at it. Look at it. Okay. That looks pretty awesome. I'm happy with it. I'll take this, dupe it, and see how we have this one. Okay, we'll just keep consistent with having these kind of like looking / overlapping in that area. Look at it. It looks awesome. Oh my god. It looks like a tent. Ah! Okay. Okay. See, why did that do that? Well, over level 310. This looks like one down. We have one set of upgrades down. Nice. Nice. Man, I got a few more to do. Let's see what we have on the docket. Market upgrades. Check. Trader tent. Oh, that isn't my market. Trader tent upgrades. Check. Market upgrades. Still gotta do. Silo and granary windmill needs to be more medieval looking. Still gotta do. Baby sheep, baby horse, baby rabbit. Well, you know, that's gonna be pretty straightforward. So I'm happy with the progress tonight. Like, it took longer than I was expecting. I was thinking I was just gonna come in here and whip this out. I will need to UV unwrap, UV unwrap, tent, whoops, trader, tents. Okay. So, I think what I'll do is tomorrow I'll just UV unwrap these suckers. Well, you know what? This is where I'm torn. Because UV unwrapping sucks. It just sucks. It's the worst. I hate it. It's horrible. And it's also, I don't know, it's like, it just doesn't feel like you made any progress, really. Like, you made the model, isn't it UV unwrapped? I'm gonna have to go into this and see the base tent. Let's just take a look at it right now because we can. We can do that. We are the factory.
editor. Ooh, this is nice and unwrapped. This looks nice. Yeah, you know, it's not maybe gonna be that bad, but I just hate UV unwrapping, man. It's the worst. It is absolutely the worst. Let's see. I might have to change this to be like a desktop capture for you guys for tomorrow, so that you can see what the UVs on are looking like. Because right now you can't see nothing. You can see my mouse moving around. Ooh, ghost window. Ooh. So, let's see here. And it looks like crap. There's nothing there. Oh. Okay, well, I mean, based off of what they did for their UV unwrapping, oh my god, this is just gonna suck. I don't like UV unwrapping. I hate it. It's the worst. Well, I'm gonna have to do it. So that's life, I guess. Just gotta do it. So I'm saving this. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. Looked like we had a couple more people jump on than usual, complete randoms, so that was pretty cool. Hopefully we can see some more traffic as time goes on. You know, I think this was maybe one of the better streams that we've had so far. So I'll get this cut up and put it on YouTube. I'll probably have to do that on the weekend, but for now I have the full stream of this, and I'll speed it up along the way, and then we can kind of go from there. Hopefully this is some nice quality content for you too. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I'm calling it a night. Thank you for watching.